So now that Tesla is officially delivering the new Model Y Junipers, the Model 3 Highland is being offered at a 0% APR deal, and following the recent attacks, just the amount of people I've seen come out in support of Tesla, I figured why not join in and talk about 10 reasons why you should buy a Tesla in 2025. Now, these are in no particular order, but we are starting with a really good reason, all the good deals going on right now. If you're looking at buying a new Model 3 Highland, you can get 0% APR for up to 60 months with 15% down. And remember that the federal tax credit, which is $7,500, counts towards that 15% down. Or you can get a 0.99% APR deal up to 60 months with no money down. If you're looking at purchasing a legacy Model Y, well, instead of configuring one from new, you should probably look at inventory, as the discounts are getting really good. You can find deals of up to $7,000+ off on brand new Model Ys, and that's not even including the tax credit. $40,000 after the credit, which is still at the point of sale, like right off the purchase price when you buy, for a brand new performance Model Y. And that's the most expensive trim, which historically the most expensive trim tends to get the highest discount, but you can still find discounts on long-range rear-wheel drive and long-range all-wheel drives, putting them into the mid-30s. Also, all of the EV tax credits are still in effect. Of course, the federal tax credit that I've just mentioned, but also state credits. No one really knows how long these deals are going to last. The 0 APR offer, they don't have a set time on. I assume with the Model Y, it's once they've exhausted all of their inventory and they've fully switched over to Juniper. As for the tax credits, we just don't know. Now, I mentioned the Legacy Y, which actually leads into the next reason. If you're a version waiter, I don't think there's a technical term for it. If you know of a better one, then feel free to let me know. You like to wait for the newer version to come out before buying in hopes of either future-proofing or just being able to enjoy what you purchased for a while before the new shiny successor comes out. Tesla just refreshed their two most popular vehicles. They refreshed the 3 last year, and this year we got the refreshed Y. So if you're looking at either of the refreshed models, you can rest easy knowing that there isn't going to be some massive refresh around the corner that you may kick yourself for not waiting for. And unlike smartphones or other like tech that you have in your life that tends to have a pretty short lifespan, a pretty quick refresh cycle, like once a year, Tesla's, they don't do these refreshes often. The Model 3 was on the road for 6 years, since like 2018, and the Model Y since 2020. So you're going to be able to enjoy them for a while before the newer refresh starts tempting you. And I'm referring to the big refreshes here, as Tesla does tend to introduce small updates kind of just whenever, but big updates, that won't be for a while with the 3 and Y. Though if you're eyeing an S or an X, then you may actually want to wait, as apparently those are getting some sort of refresh later this year. Safety is up next, which I feel like a lot of people don't really account for, but if you're looking at a Tesla, well, they're all pretty safe. Like some of the safest vehicles you can be in. Every model, 5 stars overall, and most 5 stars in every category via NHTSA. Even the Cybertruck, which people screamed for months had to be unsafe, ended up getting rated as like one of, if not the safest trucks for its like category that you can drive. If you're buying a car for like to haul your family around in, then you probably actually do consider safety. So if that's the case, then well, Teslas, you can't really go wrong with any of them. Now, one of the biggest reasons to switch to an electric car is the promise of super low running cost, which is true with Teslas. Maintenance is pretty much zero. No oil changes, spark plugs, brake pad replacements, windshield wiper fluid, and the occasional HVAC filter change every few years is about all you need to do. And looking at the price of that stuff, it's pretty much nothing in comparison. Some people will say that you need tires more often because the cars are super heavy. I actually discussed this in last week's video that you can check out, but it's not really true. It's more so if you have a lead foot, and Tesla actually has settings to reduce acceleration to help you with that. Your tires are going to last you just as long as they would on a comparable gas car, assuming you're not ripping it at every stoplight. That's really what gets people. They get the car, the acceleration is something that they've never really experienced, and they just stomp on it every single chance they get, which will rip through your tires. There's also this thinking that, well, yeah, you save all this money, but then you have to spend $13,000, $14,000 after 5 years when the battery goes out, which is just people catastrophizing. Can it happen? Yes, but just like your entire engine failing is extremely unlikely. Tesla does put their money where their mouth is though, with great battery warranties ranging from like minimum of 100K miles if you get just like a standard base up to 150K miles on their higher end S and X's, or 8 years, whichever comes first. Then of course you have the super low fuel costs, which will vary by location, but on average I would say that it's roughly 3 to 5 times cheaper charging at home versus getting gas when broken down in a dollar per mile way. If you're unable to get home charging, then it's not going to be as cheap, but on average will still save you a little bit, assuming you're okay with waiting at superchargers. But if you can charge at home, then this is the next reason it becomes more convenient than owning a gas car. You wake up every morning with a full tank, never having to think about leaving a little bit early for work so you can stop and get gas, or having to stop at night when you're tired on the way home from work to get gas. It really doesn't set in until you've owned the car for a few months and it just becomes the norm. But then you have to drive either like a gas car, or someone mentions how they have to stop and get gas first, and then you realize just how convenient owning your electric car with your gas station at your house. Reason number 6, the supercharging network. This is still the number one reason to own a Tesla over any other EV. You have full access, unlike other EVs, which can use a supercharger network, but they can't use all of the supercharger network. It's only specific ones. And you have the correct charging port, so no needing to deal with adapters. The port that's on your car is a port that the superchargers use. Also, the supercharger network is vertically integrated directly into the UI and navigation. Anywhere I want to go in the US, I am fully confident that my car can get there. And there's no jumping through hoops or having to learn what the car can do, right? You just pop in your destination and the car will automatically add stops along your route while slightly overcharging you to ensure you'll always make it. Teslas may not have the longest range or the best charging curve, and this is not me like trying to make an excuse for them. I still personally want them to be competitive in that field. I still want them to push the boundaries on range and just, you know, how fast the car can supercharge. Like, have you all seen what these Chinese cars can do? It's kind of insane. But the reliability and ease of use of the supercharger network is unmatched. There's a reason why every other automotive manufacturer bent the knee to Tesla in the States. It's just the supercharger network is just that good. Now, another thing that you can only get from Tesla, the full self-driving. I'm not talking about autopilot because while it is great, a lot of other car brands have similar like advanced traffic aware cruise control systems, but FSD, nothing else that's available to the public even comes close. None of that pre-mapped roads only, needs to always see lines only during the day and up to 40 miles per hour BS. It pretty much works everywhere, and with recent updates can be started. For example, I can just pop mine on in my garage. It pulls out of my driveway, navigates my neighborhood, pulls me onto the main street, and then takes me where I need to go. I promise I'm not, as the kids say nowadays, glazing, right? Maybe I just don't use it enough to really see its mistakes, as I still very much enjoy manually drive. It's so weird that when like 10 years ago, if you said manually driving, you would think like with a stick, but now with, you know, it's just the car not driving for you. I still very much enjoy manually driving. I manually drive 99% of the time. If Tesla took my steering wheel away tomorrow, I would go out and buy a new car tomorrow. That's how much I like driving. But every time I use FSD, it's just been really good for me. I've said this in past videos, but if you're ever in like a really big city that you've never been to before and you're just trying to navigate through it, you'll fall in love with FSD. I went through Atlanta a few years back for the first time. Think like massive 10-lane highways, all traveling at, while the speed limit was 55, no one was doing 55. And the car did it all, right? Every merge, exit, everything. I might as well have been in the passenger seat. It's also really nice in just boring bumper to bumper traffic, long road trips, or when you're just tired after work and would rather monitor the car drive than drive yourself. I've seen people compare it to like a cheap chauffeur, as you can get it for about $100 per month. And yeah, I would agree with, assuming that the cheap chauffeur is your son that has his intermediate. So it's a little bit better than a permit. You know that for the most part, he's not going to kill you, right? But you got to be just a tiny bit attentive because there's always that small chance. Number 8, price to straight line performance. On screen now are cars with a similar 0 to 60 of a new Model 3 performance. Yes, that says Lamborghini, Ferrari, McLaren. The Model 3 performance is not even Tesla's fastest car, and all those cars are like 10x what this sub $50,000 Model 3 performance costs. And if you do want Tesla's best price to performance, like dollar per horsepower, Plaids are sub 6 figures and will blow pretty much every stock car, and a lot of tune cars for that matter, out of the water, assuming it's not like a $250,000 Lucid Sapphire or the Rimac Nevera, which is like a $3 million hypercar. And even on track, the price to performance is still pretty good. There's this misconception that Teslas are a one-trick pony for straight line acceleration, but Teslas are on the leaderboards for many tracks. It's not like From a Dig where they beat almost everything, but they can still put up good times, and afterwards you can go get groceries, you can pick your kids up, you have a Ford or sedan or an SUV. Now, I would also like to include the interior as a reason, not necessarily the design, but just everything else that it offers. You have great storage space in comparison to similarly sized gas vehicles. You don't need to go out and buy a dash cam system, as one is built in and auto saves to the USB stick, so you have a physical copy. So you also don't need to get a subscription. Like I'm pretty sure with BMW, you have to like pay for like a monthly subscription. A rear screen for your kids to watch movies on or listen to their own music with headphones. You, the driver, also have a massive screen up front for navigation and all your controls. I know some people complain about the lack of buttons, but most people I know that want buttons want them in addition to the screen. I've never heard anyone complain about the screen itself, just they wish there was the screen plus the button. So the screen itself that you got is pretty great. If you're someone that likes to listen to music, well, you got the best sound system that you can get stock from a manufacturer. Plus, if you do happen to be a fan of the like minimalistic designed interior, then that is a plus. Personally, I've never disliked any of Tesla's interiors. They very much have a design language, and if the design language isn't for you, well, then it's just not for you. But if you do end up opting for the newer 3 and Y or the like horizontal screen S and X, I think you'll be genuinely surprised about how the whole like really cheap IKEA stigma just isn't true. And lastly, the software updates. Unlike every other car that's not a Tesla, your car does not become frozen in time software-wise. You will get all the new features that cars coming out after you will get. Cars from 2021 look the same as my 2024, which looks the same as the new 2025s. There are features my car didn't have when I first got, and now it does. And unlike other automotive manufacturers that you need to come in so they can hook up something to flash the new firmware, Tesla just sends it out over the air. It really does help with the car constantly feeling new and fresh, which I could see as being somewhat counterintuitive to Tesla sales, because it makes you like fine with your older car versus the newer one, because well, the software is essentially the same. Now, if you have any other reasons that you can think of, drop them down in the comments. I know I've been making a lot of like buying videos as of late. It's all online. I haven't literally nothing in real life. People that have never owned a Tesla trying to give like purchasing opinions on whether or not you should buy one. So yeah, just trying to put out like an actual, like someone that's actually owned like multiple of these cars for multiple years, my experience, just to try to weed out all of the just crap that's been circulating around. Also, not gonna lie, I've kind of just been stalling for the new Model Y performance so I can start making videos on that. So yeah, just bear with me. Any day now, Tesla, that'd be great. Thank you all so much for watching. If you are new around here and you wanna see more Tesla related stuff in your YouTube feed, then feel free to subscribe. Thank you all so much for the support over the past few years. In fact, I do like to periodically just let you all know that the position that I'm in is not taken for granted. I really do appreciate you all allowing me to do this for a living. And also just allowing me to persuade you all into spending tens of thousands of dollars on new cars. So yeah, I'll see you all in the next one.